From the YouTube Dojo, this is Weeknight Update with Ellie Cuggy Mueller, and now, Mr. Ellie Cuggy Mueller. Ha! Welcome. This is Weeknight Update. I am Ellie Cuggy Mueller. Great show tonight. I hope tonight's shout outs go to the Furies. Or the Furries, I don't know. Furies. It's Hover FTW's whatever, Minecraft, Miko Games, One Crazy Life, and 8 Old Yard. Very interesting people. Make sure you check them out. And now let's talk about my soon-to-be predecessor, Seth Meyers. Now, Seth Meyers is very interesting. He has treated late night as if it's the Daily Show for nearly 3 years. I mean, he's like our new Jon Stewart. Although Jon Stewart never had a house band when he was doing the Daily Show, so. And there's another thing, alright? Seth has always been known to make jokes about Donald Trump. You know, the guy with the toupee who's trying to run for president here in the United States of America. Well, I don't know. He has made a few points about that. Well, anyway, Seth is really funny. And again, I like his work, but he might need a replacement soon. Oh, I'm sorry, I was just practicing, my vocal cords and my tie mixing in order to, get ready for the big gig when I actually get the call from NBC. Don't worry. Anyway, Seth Meyers, as you may or may not know, got his start, I believe right here in Chicago, not too long ago. I believe it was 16 years ago. It was doing, an improv show at the time here in Chicago. And Laura Michaels, who was a big guy producing Saturday Night Live at the time, said, okay, well, Seth, you can hang around the Saturday Night Live studio. We'll make you our next cast member, and blah, blah, blah. Sooner or later, he became the head writer, and then Weekend Update anchor. Jimmy Fallon, former Saturday Night Live cast member himself, moved over to late night, and then at the night show, Laura Michaels thought that Seth Meyers would be a great guy to replace Jimmy Fallon. For the first year and a half or so, yeah, the show was kind of okay, but it was a little rocky. Because his show was kind of like every other late night talk show. Then something happened. He started doing a monologue sitting down. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. And that's when the show really took off. I mean, really took off. There's one thing, though. The only problem with the whole thing is this. Seth Meyers is in charge of a huge network late night talk show, and he's treating it as though he's doing the Daily Show on cable. Speaking of which, the Daily Show is a show that Craig Kilborn has done for about 2 or 3 years. Jon Stewart did for 17 years, I believe, and Trevor Noah has been doing it for about a year. But anyway, that show's on Comedy Central. Anyway, Seth Meyers has been actually thinking about late night as though he had moved from NBC to Comedy Central, even though he's still on NBC. Which makes no sense considering the fact that, NBC practically invented the fake news stuff with Weekend Update. And then, you know, Seth Meyers, of course, has, has been known for making fun of political stuff, you know? And you know what? I think I would be a good replacement. I mean, think about it for a moment, alright? Seth Meyers is this, you know, uptight guy who pretty much sits behind the desk for the entire hour, you know, only talks about the news and stuff, you know, only talks about politics and other stuff like that. Me, you know, I usually talk about whatever is on my mind. You know, sometimes it's newsworthy, but most of the time it's just silly, insane, and and crazy topics that you wouldn't hear about anywhere else. You know, I mean, if you really think about it, you know, my show and Seth Meyers' show are very different from one another. All right. Another thing that separates this show from Seth Meyers' show, and pretty much every other late night talk show as well, is that, you know, those shows, they get the guests. You know, they actually have the money to get the guests, the house band, the Myers, and all that kind of stuff. We don't have that kind of money. I don't have, I don't have that kind of money over here. You know, if you really think about it, this show right here, the show you're watching right now, this show is kind of the same thing as Steve Allen show. You know, the Tonight Show starring Steve Allen. Except the Tonight Show starring Steve Allen, you know, even though he didn't have any writers, other than himself, of course, he actually did have an orchestra. And he actually had an announcer slash psychic. He actually had everything. You know, he had everything. He had everything. Oh, you know, if only this show could be like a late night talk show. But I'm wearing the suit and tie. You know, I'm doing monologue jokes and blah blah blah. You know, oh, here's a little something for you. And here's one more thing for you before you go to bed. Well, that's the show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow we will talk about models. Yes, you don't want to miss that. That's the news, and I am out skis. Farewell, everybody. Farewell.